evening.
Good evening, sir.
Howdy.
How would you two gentlemen like to be addressed as such today?
I am simply Bill.
Very well. I'm going to skip the simply Bill joke and just call you Bill.
Yeah,
All right then.
Yeah.
Wait, your friend coming, or you want to start off?
I don't know. I mean, I'll ping him real quick.
Oh, no
see
problem.
What the hell he's up to. Tell his punk ass to get up.
If you don't like any of the questions, just say pass. Believe me, we have more than enough.
I'll answer all questions to the best of my ability.
That made me really want to ask your question, Vita.
I have many questions. Which one?
The team one.
Team one? Oh, no, don't
Yeah, we got to save that. That's too funny.
Team one.
No, you'll see. It's in
Okay.
good humor.
All right.
Everything I have is in good humor.
Yeah. Vita has a lot of friends from 4chan.
I wish I didn't, but I do.
Yep, he sadly does. All right, screw it. We'll ask this one. What you drinking tonight, boss?
25-ounce King Cobra.
Nice. I'm drinking an orange juice and vodka.
It must be
drinking,
nice
huh?
to have a little bit of money.
Fuck it, I'll grab some moonshine.
All right then. Vita is drinking
I'm
midnight
waiting
moonshine.
on my dealer. I'm waiting on my weed dealer. I'm waiting on my weed man to get a hold of me.
I was going to ask about drugs. Beautiful.
Fucking hell.
What's the number of your dealer? Let's go out there and let's get some blow.
Well, we don't fuck around with no cocaine out here because you can't get no good cocaine in Kentucky.
Oh.
But if you go down to Texas where the cartel's operating, or down to Miami, then you might be able to get some good cocoa.
Well, in Kentucky, I'm assuming you guys got Oxy, right?
Actually, recently there was a bill that passed to make it very hard for junkies to get their pills. So heroin came back.
Oh.
I was about to say, isn't that the nickname of Oxy is hillbilly heroin? And I would imagine Kentucky
No,
would be good.
I don't. I've never heard it called hillbilly heroin.
Oxycodone.
Codone, maybe. Yeah, I could see that. But cotton, no, that's just straight pills.
What's that about Kodo?
Well, we were talking about drugs. All right, I'm going to do the intro. By the way, how am I coming through?
You're coming through on my end.
Good.
I'm back.
Alright, it's going.
All right, this is FNGR welcoming you all to Limbo Podcast with the following co-hosts, Kizuma,
Hello.
Vita,
Yep.
the Burning Donut,
Hey!
and this week's dual attraction, Templar Gamer and Judge Bill,
Hey guys.
all the way from 8chan. All right, now I have a series of questions. Anybody? Well, fuck it, I'm stealing it.
Go
How long
for
were
it.
you guys with 4chan before you floated over to 8?
I was there I went to 4chan the usual way. Everybody goes to 4chan. They heard about B back in 2008. Pissed about on the chans there for a while until the Gamergate thing happened and Moot pretty much said, get the fuck off my board. Because he's a douche.
What misconceptions about the site do you feel are most common?
Actually, you see, the misconceptions I think everyone has is that there's like a genuine den of villainy and conspiracy going on when at the end of the day, really, it's just mainly bullshit trolling. That's all it is.
I've seen some things about 8chan, various things on like YouTube. They're trying to
Do tell.
associate 8chan with the deep web. Is there any truth to that at all, or
The what?
the deep web?
Deep
Nah.
I just thought I'd ask.
No. Just no.
Boring.
Shit, my dope dealer's got more connections to the deep web than 8chan.
Where is the line for you personally? What ethically won't you do?
I won't fuck with kids and I won't fuck with animals.
Do you want to go tap a cold one after the podcast? Kidding.
If you're talking about tapping a corpse, then
That was a joke. It was a joke.
I confirmed it.
I mean, I've got this broad in my room. She's only been dead for a couple of days, but she's still fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah, ain't even smelling yet. It's just like, oh, right.
Oh, that's what Febreze is for.
What's your field of study?
I went to school to be an electrician, and then I flunked out because I was too busy drinking and chasing tail.
Oh, that's the way to go, man.
That's usually how it happens. Now I'm trying to start my own business.
What do you find personally cringy?
Personally cringy?
Mhm.
Well, there's a lot of things I find cringy. It all really depends on the context, really.
Let's go to the chans. What do you find personally cringy on there?
Back in old B on 4chan, circa 2008 to 2010, occasionally there would be the CP thread that would pop up, which would immediately get reported to the mods. Gore doesn't really bother me since I was a special effects artist for a minute, and I actually kind of used to look up Gore threads on B just to figure out how to best mimic the effect.
Yeah.
Oh, did you grow up anything like watching Faces of Death or anything weird like that?
My first actual full-blown gory film that I was exposed to was the original Day of the Dead when I was 9.
Well, Vita, this is your your world of expertise. Any horror movies you want to ask him about?
Let me think. Did you see You're Next?
Is that a newer one? Because I've heard of it, but I saw the trailers and I just kind of went, meh, too tame.
What is your brand? Oh, go ahead.
Have you ever seen Tokyo Gore Police?
I own Tokyo Gore Police, sir.
Oh, you're winning us
Nice.
over, pal. No good. I've seen a bit of that. That got kind of weird.
Yeah,
Weirder.
it's pretty weird, but
Kind of weird.
It's hysterical.
When it got onto like the girls and the fetishes in Tokyo, I was
Yeah.
I was fine with the murder. This started getting real weird for me.
I think it's the weirdest thing I've got in my film collection.
I bet.
Anyone here ever seen a David Cronenberg film by the name of Videodrome?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I think that's a bit weirder than Tokyo Gore Police.
Made someone watch that.
Oh God. What
You
was it
too,
called?
huh? Did they accuse you of being on par with the Marquis de Sade after watching the film?
He said he couldn't sleep after the scene with the gun.
Just couldn't sleep with after James Woods put the gun in his belly.
Oh, well, and whenever the stuff started coming out of his nails.
Oh, that was so bloody cool!
This one might be more aimed at Templar. What part of the gaming community are you into? Are you a fan of like Total Biscuit, for example, since you seem big in the graphics?
How about I'm a fan of whatever I play, and most of what passes for video game commentating can go to hell for all I care.
Okay, sounds fair.
Yeah.
Is there any real legit resentment between 4chan and 8chan, or is that just them screwing around?
I
I think it's more a case of 8chan hates Moot, and 4chan hates anyone that they think is trying to steal their thunder.
How important is gaming to your overall life?
Jake, you want to grab this one first?
Seeing as how we're game devs, can we just default to very fucking important?
Well,
no.
okay. I was hoping you would go into an in-depth explanation for
No,
that one.
it's perfectly
I didn't
all right.
know that, but okay. Here's what, gaming is pretty important to me. Not just because it's a good way to kill time when waiting for the bus while pissing about on your phone. Not just because you can rack up some pretty decent, hang out with your friends and rack up a pretty decent kill streak. If you have friends and can actually get kill streaks, oh god, I'm so alone! I got friends, they play COD, I tried, and I get my ass kicked every time, so I play Mortal Kombat.
Right.
But that's beside the point.
What is your favorite FPS then?
Oh, shit, favorite FPS. Damn.
See if he goes for the classic cred.
Well, no. I'm trying to avoid just going with classic cred. Because, like everybody else, I played Doom when it first came out, when it was freeware. Actually, I gotta say, for nostalgia's sake, my favorite FPSs of all time will always be the original Unreal. Because I remember the first time I saw that game in action. Just sweeping around the scenery during the intro, and then the fact that the actual scenery would change over time. Like if you actually played the game for 8 hours straight, it would go from day to night in real time.
Nice.
Oh,
That was one of the cool things about the original Unreal that you really don't see a lot of people talk about. Yeah, at the time it was groundbreaking as a graphics engine, but it did so much more cool shit. It ran like butter. And the jibs. Oh god, the jibs. The fact that that's coming back in Doom 3 makes me so happy.
feel free to
Snap.
pass.
I love controversy.
Okay, the Washington Post said that 8chan boards have been created to discuss controversial topics, including pedophilia. The Daily Dot wrote that the boards existed to share sexualized images of minors in provocative poses. Where do these misconceptions come from?
Oh, I can tell you that.
We did the yellow van.
I don't know that. I don't understand that reference, so I'm just gonna guess. I really don't get it, so sorry. But anyway, really, what it all boils down to is the people who are making these claims are you're friends with the same people who are actually the same people who have been accused of journalistic improprieties in the press. Case in point, people from the Washington Post who run that sort of thing have friends over at Gawker or Comcast that have realized that their friends have been brought to task by the people. So they do what they can to discredit. Never mind the fact that they are actually friends with people who are outright okay with admitting that they are pedophiles. Case in point, Sarah Nyberg being friends with a good chunk of people in the press.
That's going to start to get real ugly, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. And then you had, like, a couple of weeks after that whole incident, you had one guy, I'm trying to remember, what was the website that said, where the guy ran the article saying, yes, I'm a pedophile, but you're the monster?
Salon.
Salon, thank you.
I've done a little digging. I'm pretty sure that it's in the medical journals that pedophilia is listed as a mental defect.
It should be treated as a mental defect, and it should be treated. However, that is not what they're going for. Their idea is more along the lines of essentially blackmails. Like, if you, just like pedophiles, if you add to this atmosphere, then maybe more children will get hurt. Or instead of saying, hey, people like me need to come forward and get the help we desperately need.
I was a bit confused when you said that a lot of these people were friends with people in the media. I'm shocked that people in the media would stick their neck out there. That just seems like if you found that out about someone, you'd cut ties immediately.
Well, here's the thing you gotta remember about the media. When I was growing up, I always assumed the people in the media were actually competent and intelligent.
Well, to a degree.
To a degree, I always figured they knew what they were doing. They gave you facts, and then 9/11 happened, and I watched as the media lied to us about there being weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, and then it just really went downhill.
All right, we'll move on to the next question here. January 2015, 8chan, and I'm going to use this term properly, allegedly was the base of swatting for Portland, Seattle, Burnby, British Columbia. Most of them were tied to criticisms of Gamergate and 8chan associated with attacks coordinated by the board. Bathamuet? Again, is that more just the same kind of misunderstanding, or?
Well, see, here's the thing with a lot of these claims, there really isn't a whole confirmation. Case in point, one of the people who made claims, Izzy, the dude with the Kirby avatar on Twitter, that guy.
The actual site, I think it's Guardian.com.
Well, they're the news site that reports on this, but like we discussed just a few seconds ago, the press hasn't, in recent years or recent decades, has not exactly been forthcoming with facts or the sources of those facts.
Well, I understand that you have to take any online journalism with a grain of salt. It's just I remember one of these was MSNBC, and I was like, that doesn't sound like Fox News.
Such thing as online journalism, because that would imply there's actual journalism being practiced.
Right. Now, let's see here. Here's the thing, though. What actually has been confirmed to be a legitimate swatting, and what has been a case of somebody sending an email to the cops saying, this guy said he was angry and he's got pipe bombs, you should go talk to him, when that's not how swatting works, or at least not when you're trying to hurt somebody. Because, speaking of someone who has had friends that were less than reputable, or just quit beating around the bush, straight up criminals.
You sound like you've been questioned by the police before.
I actually have been stopped at random a few times by the cops.
Well, we're degenerates too. Nobody's judging.
It's cool.
You immoral monster! I'm totally judging. No.
Yeah, ironically enough, when you said immoral monster, it made me want to buy him a drink.
I can give you a link to my Patreon. It is appropriately named Hookers and Blow.
Oh,
nice.
If I didn't like him before, there we go.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to the whole swatting incident. The one case where there actually was some form of paperwork to file, this Izzy from Twitter, who actually is one of the people supporting the crash override initiative. The only information or documents that was leaked on this was a email to the police, to which I assume was from his local area, saying that it was a concerned friend who was shown pipe bombs and was concerned about this person's well-being. When in actuality, if you're going to swat somebody or use the cops to hurt someone, you immediately call them, ideally from a burner phone or a pay phone if you still have those in your area, saying, I was in this guy's house, I was just hanging out, I was going to buy just a quick little sack of weed, and this motherfucker's got a meth lab right next to this kid's house. Somebody needs to go do something about it. The second you say drugs, boom, cops will show up and frag a fucking toddler.
Yeah, if either that or report a hostage or a murder taking place.
Yeah, exactly. That's another way to do it. But literally, the way we handle the draconian manner we handle drugs in this country, really, drugs is the best way to get a swatting going. And to any law enforcement that may be listening to this, here's what you do to make sure something's not bullshit. First and foremost, if it's an email, check the IP. If it's some jack-off, if you're in California and the email's coming from some jag-off in Kentucky, it's probably bullshit. I mean, small little things like that could cut down on problems.
No, again, this is going to be one of those touchy ones. Now, this is just my, I guess, personal on this. Ethics in journalism, gaming, whatever. Honestly, has any of this amounted to a hill of beans? EA, Konami, Ubisoft, Capcom, Square Enix. Has this whole Gamergate caused any of these companies or any you know of to knuckle down as a result of a huge pissing contest and force them to improve the quality of their content?
Well, for the most part, it seems like most of the AAA developers have kept out of the whole situation. However, when it comes to some of the more the press outlets like Gawker, sites owned by Gawker, Vox Media, Comcast.
Kotaku.
Well, once again, that's owned by Gawker.
Yeah, I know. I figured that'd be more on point because I'm assuming that's more closer to the gaming media. I didn't know how much affected Gawker
Well,
was.
once again, the whole idea behind Gamergate is to clean the press. Get the people who do not need to be in a position like that, who can't, accept any form of responsibility or accountability for their actions, to be completely out on their without a job, just like everybody else in the real world.
Well, on that note, and again, this is just my personal take here. Feel free to call me an idiot.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
Aren't fans qualified to decide, who isn't credible to listen to? I grew up myself on things like Nintendo Power and EGM, and I agree with Boogie on YouTube. You took most of these reviews with a grain of salt. Are you kids really reading too much into Kotaku and treating this whole thing as like the canon word of God or something? I don't see.
Actually, that's not the point. It's not the fact that here is what it boils down to. As an independent developer, issue of Gamergate hit a little bit harder. Hit closer to home for me. Not because I'm just some, guy looking for the newest, best video games and looking for an honest opinion, but because I'm a developer trying to get my, stuff out there, trying to get myself out there. Yet the problem with, Kotaku and a lot of these other sites is it really isn't the quality of your work that gets you noticed. It's who you know. That's why Zoey Quinn was a common name you heard.
Mm-hmm.
Not because she, slept around, but it's not that she slept around, it's who she slept around with to get her name out there. And it actually has been confirmed by both Grayson and Zoey Quinn that they did have a fling of sorts, which did result
a better response. And it comes down to these people like to act like they're journalists. It's like, oh, we're journalists, when they're like, you don't really deserve any of these perks you get. And they're like, we're journalists. Then all of a sudden, when it's like, okay, here are the standards of journalism, and here's how you utterly fail and suck at them, they immediately go to, oh, but we're just bloggers.
Well, yeah. Once again, that's another issue here.
It's like, if you're gonna talk the talk, I expect you to be able to walk the walk and all that shit.
Exactly. And this goes back to a point I brought up earlier when I brought in the whole 9/11 issue. You see, before 9/11, when it came to criticizing, the powers that be, that wasn't an issue. If you had a problem with Clinton, you had a problem with Clinton. You weren't a bigot. You weren't a anti-progressive. You weren't anything like that. But then Bush comes around.
Well,
9/11 happens. You question the war on terror, you are a terror sympathizer.
Hey. You're talking to the man who refers to Michael Moore as our Lord and Savior.
oh, Jesus.
Here's the thing to go when
I know there's problems with that, sir. I absolutely do. I'm just being a dick.
I get you, but for everyone else, here's the thing. I like Michael Moore's stuff to a certain extent, but considering that it is Michael Moore who has made it no secret that he has an agenda to push, that should also be in the back of your head when watching.
Oh, sir. My major is history. I love propaganda. It's beautiful.
I know.
It's an art form.
Yeah, I know, right?
You've ever seen Dr. Seuss Goes to War?
I have never seen Dr. Seuss Goes to War.
Oh, it's something you get the time, look that up online. It's just this.
I did watch Thank You for Smoking.
No. It's just like that artist was doing war propaganda for World War II and in like this childlike kind of platform, and I'm like, this is really disturbing and weird and fascinating.
I know, right? That's why I like looking at, researching things like serial killers or mass murders, because it's always interesting to see what goes wrong.
I've got a site for you. Have you ever checked out Rob Dyke?
I have not. Hit me up with
he covers lots and lots of serial killers, so if that's your bag, you should definitely give that a look.
Oh, yeah. But anyway, like I said, this goes back to the whole point I made earlier about since at least 2001, 2002, the entire media, when it comes to the press, has not been forthcoming with us in any shape.
Yeah.
Back in, the early 2000s, because we were, just starting to go to war, the more conservative, alternative nature, showed up and became popular and became chic. Nowadays, it is the left who's in fashion. And watch, when the next go around, it's going to be the right, and it's going to be, the cycle will continue anew and more terrifying than ever.
People don't have the wherewithal to knuckle down and stay with a decision. If they don't get immediate results, they waffle.
Yeah, exactly.
People will do exactly the same things they criticize politicians for doing. It's kind of weird.
Well, I mean, I put that in the standard Christian mentality. No offense, Templar, but you know my background. You know the kind of people I've dealt with.
I understand, sir, as a Catholic, and I'm not going to correct you.
Well,
you're a cool dude, and I'm definitely giving you allowances right now, so we're going to look.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm from Kentucky, which means I've been dealing with a lot of bullshit since I came out of the fucking womb.
Well, here, I'll put it to this way. The closest I ever became to becoming an atheist was going to Catholic school. The difference between me and Brother George Carlin is he did the full tour, I did a year.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a buddy who did battles with the penguins as well.
God, what a godless, soulless shithole.
I know. Imagine going to a Catholic school in Kentucky. Then you'll really have absolutely no faith in the kind and loving God. Shit, being Kentucky in general and not have drinking the Kool-Aid, you will immediately become an atheist right then and there.
Say, speaking of reining it in, have you ever felt like you've personally gotten carried away with something that, you had to pull back from and just 8chan decided to move forward with,
Honestly, no, because any drama that I've gotten myself involved with when it comes to 8chan shenanigans, I've always just said, you know what, I've got better things to do with my time. Like, case in point, the only person I may have I don't actually have beef with anybody. Hell, I'm just around just for shits and giggles.
There's
and
have you ever heard of a DIR closing down? Here, I'm going to post this link here.
DIR. What is DIR?
Yeah.
Directory, and I think I know what he's about.
Yeah, it said something about FBI informant. Do you know anything about this?
I'm just going to say this right now. It's a whole bunch of autism I can't even unravel. It involves a lot of fucking interboard politics and drama that I really don't want to explain.
Oh, I'm perfectly cool with a pass. You guys have been really super cool. And look,
but fun fact, according to his mom, I may actually be a CIA plant.
Hey, if they're hiring, I'd like to put in my...
I know, right?
Dude, it'll be a case of if the NSA's like, we want to recruit you, I'd be like, what took you so long?
I know, right? I could totally see myself making a living drugging random people with LSD. It worked so well for the CIA, man. That would be great.
We need to hang out.
Drugging people, please. I'd rather go snooping through all their emails to reconfirm my belief that humans are indeed shit.
Yeah, but once again, drugging people's more fun.
Yeah.
Implying you don't get to drug people when you drag them into the Gitmo chamber, and then
you don't need to drag them into Gitmo. All you really got to do is, if you want to interrogate somebody, if you really want to get them to sing, you don't need to drag them into Gitmo. You don't need to beat them. You need to get into their head. And the best way to do that is, essentially just let them talk, read them, and occasionally have somebody come in and play bad cop to your good cop, or 30 minutes before you start railing on them, give them a nice little cup of water, which is laced with a shitload of LSD, let them talk for a while, let them sing, and then wait for the shit to hit.
Are you better off using that truth serum drug, the one that opens...
There's no such thing.
I know. Okay, no, I didn't. I'm drinking. Leave me alone.
Oh my, what's your excuse?
Yeah.
I got the special truth serum. Yeah,
it's called alcohol. I beg to differ, sir. There is such a drug.
So much as it loosens tongue.
It does. Well, that works pretty good, don't you think?
Yeah, it does. Especially if you play to their vanity. If you can get into their head, act like you know what they're really thinking, but you don't. And once again, basically Batman them.
So, again, this is going back to the gamer ethics thing. As a gamer, separating the politics from do you really care if DOA volleyball comes out or not?
Here's the thing about DOA volleyball coming out.
Oh, jeez.
No, not a long-winded rant. Here's the thing. Me personally, I don't care. I really don't.
Look, I'm a pervert, sir. I loved Rumble Rose, but that was a fun game.
Yeah, that was like, you could actually play that game. Like, DOA Extreme Beach Volleyball is like, push the ball and, oh, wait, hold on. Oh, I missed. I don't know what I did wrong.
It's nothing but cheesecake. That's all it is.
So I'm not.
And if people want to buy that, hey, more power to
There's
them.
an English version on the import, and I was like, I hate to agree with Movie Bob, I really do, but I mean, in this case, I don't see a huge, blowout here.
Here's the thing about
Hey, when I was
Oh god.
when I was a kid, we had to order DBZ 2 and 3 for Super Nintendo. It wasn't hard to convert the Super Nintendo. All you had to do was pluck a little piece of plastic out of there to get that damn thing to work.
Yeah.
But I had to order my imports. Why can't these kids?
Well, you see, I think it's
You
less of an
gramps.
issue of kids wanting to get the rocks off to some cheap CGI, and more of an issue of developers, publishers saying, you know what, we're tired of this bullshit. Because anytime something like DOA Extreme Volleyball comes out, like that one, goddamn, I'm pretty shit with names.
Look, if we lost Bayonetta, I could understand. Not my bag, but I'd be like, look, if we lost a good game, I'd see my point. If, like, for example, Street Fighter V is being censored. I love Street Fighter. That'd be a case in point to make a big argument. I'm like, but this is volleyball.
Yeah, I mean, once again, it's even from day one, it was painfully obvious that PlayAsia was using this to market, and you know what? It worked. Here's my response to that.
Good job.
Because, it's one of those situations. Anytime a business actually knows how to keep their ear to the ground, know what people don't like, and play to that a little bit more, and maybe even challenge those societal taboos just a little bit for the sake of a quick buck. Yeah, they did it for a buck, but at the end of the day, they challenged taboos. They said, hey, wait a minute, this isn't, we really don't need this form of puritanical self-censorship into the industry. I can get behind that.
Hey, look, I'll put it to you like this, friend. There's an ism that starts with a C I hope you can respect. And I've always been a fan of capitalism.
Yeah, exactly. You're talking to a indie dev.
There we go.
Exactly. I mean,
So-
and that's another thing that bugs me about the current indie dev scene. You always have these punks that rather just say, "Oh, I'm going to go on Patreon. I'm going to put my cup out on the internet."
So
you're
you're not a big fan of the whole GoFundMe scene.
I think it has potential.
What's
but
that? Okay, what's that game that you bought the third game, the one that you're really like hyped about?
Oh, Shenmue 3?
Yeah, what are your thoughts on Shenmue 3 since we're on that topic?
Unfortunately, I never had the opportunity to play any of the Shenmue games.
But or do you think it's an okay medium to sit there and push things out through that GoFundMe, or is it just something
It really bugs me that GoFundMe for that, the Patreon, the Kickstarter, the crowdfunding service that showed up for that, was promoted during E3 by one of the major companies. And I'm thinking, you know what, if you got enough money to go to fucking E3, if you got enough money to show up on TV, you should have enough money to make this game. You probably got to rein in all of your, you probably got to rein it in a little bit. You probably need to turn your development model into something more feasible than the eternal bag of holding. But if you can go to E3 and say, give me money to make this game, you should be able to already make the fucking game because you're at E3.
Mad respect, sir. I'm certain that was a D&D reference.
Yeah.
Good man. I was doing a little research on 4chan. There seems to be the original... I wouldn't say the original defection. I'm sure there's others. Like 7chan back in the day. How often does 4chan splinter, and why does it keep like splintering in new ways? Why don't just people go to the pre-existing...
Well, okay. The first major splintering would come from 7chan back when it was 2008 when Bill O'Reilly did the bit on the Internet Hate Machine. That's when...
There's a good source.
Yeah, exactly. Bill O'Reilly said, essentially, it was best described by an old fag from the chans that I knew personally, that Bill O'Reilly effectively killed the Internet Hate Machine by making it public. It became the cool thing. All of the kids started going to 4chan, and a lot of the older crowd just said nuts to this and bounced. And until Gamergate, there really wasn't much of a big splinter, or at least nothing truly noticeable anyway.
This is actually really informative because there's so many, like, the only real sources I find on this are like Wikipedia. So I really appreciate this. What websites would you recommend Chan people not go to? I've come across names like 12chan and Overchan. What do you feel, what's the worst that you've dealt with?
I am going to disappoint you a little bit because before the great exodus of Gamergate, I didn't really fuck with any of the other chans, except for 420 chan. That's the only other one.
I think I might have been there.
Yeah, we've all done that.
This is where my ignorance is really going to show. Tell me about Cal. What's that whole thing about?
It's about making fun of people that do stupid shit on the internet. Really, that's all.
All right, I'll work harder. Maybe I'll get my own.
I know, right? If you do something...
Give my shout out to my main homeboy there, Doritos Pope. Looking forward for you, buddy. You could have had fun, man. You could have had fun. How often
Could have taken a cinder block to the forehead as well.
Could have, but hey, this is actually, this and a couple of beers, this ain't so bad.
Yeah, I hope I was being a good host so far.
Yeah.
How do you,
I'm not offended.
how did you guys lose your well, I'm more or less asking Templar here. You were active for a while there. How did you lose your passion for the content? Was it just merely a time thing?
Time, lack of interest, and eventually it's a case of everything just blends together after a while, you know?
Yeah.
But I assume we're talking about YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just figured I'd ask because I did give your channel a good once-over look, and I was like, oh, you got some things here to say, and then you just stopped.
Yeah.
That's kind of how me and Bill operate. We say what we feel we need to say, and then we just move on.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, do y'all have any plans for your channel?
I actually am waiting on it. Hold on, let me check something real quick. Oh!
I'm gonna ask right now, are you a Rick and Morty fan?
I don't know what you're talking about there.
down.
I'm just a man trying to do my thing.
That was an amazing
trying
riddle.
to, trying to get the information out there. That's all. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't watch TV. Definitely don't watch Adult Swim or pirate my TV shows on the
I support their official release.
Marty, what, Rick? What the fuck?
Damn it, Morty, we got work to do. We can't be we just can't be standing around with our dicks in our hands on this.
I'm the element of honesty, not the element of piracy. Oh.
What do you think the golden age of gaming was and why?
Honestly, to agree with you, I don't want to agree with Movie Bob, but 16-bit era may have just been the golden age.
There's the cop out that Yahtzee went with, where the PlayStation 2 was the best, and I was like, yeah, that was pretty damn good.
Well, the PlayStation 2, that was... As much as I despise Sony as a company, as an entity, as a being that must be slain,
You probably wouldn't be as angry if that was the standard right now, is what you're saying, maybe.
If there were actually games coming out on our consoles, that would be fine. And fuck, my appeal has not been answered yet by the feds. God damn it.
Oh, look at it this way. I remember watching Templar's videos, and I was like, I'm all ready to defend console gaming. The minute they start putting out some new games...
Yeah.
Once upon a time ago, we would have argued forever. I'm like, oh, it hurts. It fucking hurts. I can't have any argument.
Holiday 25th day, we'll get the game.
Hey man, I'm
December and already nearly everything is either buggy, not working, or has been delayed to 2016.
Are you?
Yeah, the two games I was
You wouldn't be a Rageaholic fan at all, would you?
Yes.
Good man.
I wouldn't say I'm a fan. I would say I watch his stuff and I've interacted with him, but I think for myself.
Well, that's about where
Fan
I'm
doesn't
at.
mean cheap, sir. You can appreciate some of that
exactly.
stuff. Hell, you can technically even hate a guy and still be a fan.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, case in point.
I'm pretty sure it's
Actually, no. You can hate somebody's guts and still like their work. Case in point, David Draymond.
Floyd Mayweather from boxing. You can appreciate.
No, fuck Floyd. Wait, fuck Floyd.
But you can appreciate what he does and still want to see him get killed.
No, okay, I don't want to see him get killed.
You know what I mean by get killed. You want to see him,
In that case, yes, I do want to see him get killed by fucking Pacquiao.
or anybody. You have no idea, sir. I'm half Latino.
I want to see Ronda
When he
go
beat
after him.
Canelo Alvarez, a guy in his 20s, when he's 49 or whatever the fuck age he is, I died inside. I'm like, no, this isn't
And
possible.
he didn't even do it right. He just danced around.
Hey, look, I watch MMA. I support the Carlos Condit technique. That's okay.
I
just didn't want to see it out of him. That's all.
I want to see Ronda kick his ass.
I'm happy Ronda lost.
And
You have no idea how she acted when she won that belt. I broke your arm. I'm like, oh, you obnoxious cunt.
well, to be fair, the chick that she did fuck up did talk shit about her old man, her dad. So
Oh, I didn't know that part. Yeah, no.
yeah,
no.
she was making some, that bitch was making some comments about, making jokes about how how Ronda's dad blew himself away, and she was.
I didn't know that.
Oh my god, that fight, that 30-second fight, the lead up to it was the best part.
I was
the
a fan
entire
of.
time.
I was
She
a fan
like,
to take down Tate, and I was like, oh, she's very respectable. Then I saw how Ronda acted, and I was like, oh, she's from one of Diaz's camp. I'm like, oh, what a figures coming from there.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, that entire fight, right when she was waiting to get into this bitch, she was like a pit bull on the fucking leash. The second, with a slab of meat just dangling right out of reach. Second that bell rang, she was off the leash and she tore that hole up.
I want to surrender the mic here. You wanted to, Vito, you wanted to mention something about favorite gamings, RPGs, consoles, or something like that.
Oh, right. As gamers, do you prefer to play the latest titles or enjoy the classics?
Yes.
All right,
That was
perfect
a
answer.
great Danzig
Me too.
impersonation.
Come on, dude. You gotta give a better soundbite than that.
No. Let me explain this to you.
Okay,
Burning
all
Donut says that
right.
the guy from Danzig's famous for just giving yes or no answers in his.
Yeah.
Ooh, Eddie?
Glenn Danzig was the original singer from the Misfits. Every time
Yeah.
he's on an interview, it's like every time he has like a radio interview, it's always like, "So, do you have any future projects?"
Well, it's Danzig.
He's like a nightmare to interview, and then he's like, "Hey, what games do you like?" Yeah, assholes.
So who do you think's gonna win that Super Bowl? Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, a more distinct answer. I like a lot of classic games, but I'm not, completely just shitting on all the new games. I mean, there are a lot, if there were actually games coming out. I mean,
I wish I
first
could argue
week,
with you.
the Friday, the week that Fallout 4 came out, my ass was there. It was like, yep, I'm grabbing this. This is mine. I like it. I already know I'm going to like it. And
But like the 6 months before that, you're like, "Oh, there's nothing."
Yeah, for the most part, yeah. And then I just go through my backlog on Steam. I'm like, yeah, I haven't actually played Deus Ex, Invisible War. Let's play that. And
What's
then I
your
played
collectively between the two of you? What's your first console?
NES.
Good man.
Atari 2600.
Oh,
Oh, he
baby!
beat you.
Yeah.
To be fair, my Atari 2600 was over at my grandma's house. The first actual console that I had my dirty little grubby hands on was the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Did you have a Rob?
Huh?
Did you
I did
have a-
not have. I
You
did
didn't
not
miss
have
anything, buddy. You didn't miss
Well,
anything.
I'm a Paul White boy from Kentucky, so come on, I couldn't afford fucking Rob.
You know what's funny? Look this up. The Atari 2600, when it came out, you know how much it cost to buy? $200.
Mm-hmm.
Back then.
But
then, sir.
hold on. According to Bob, video games in his day only costed a quarter.
What?
I don't remember. Bob says a lot of retarded things. I don't remember that one, but I'll give you credit. I do follow Bob, and every once in a grand while he'll have like a nugget. I sift through 90% of the crap to find that 10% that's worth his shit.
There is not 10% with Bob.
There's a 10% to learn
There
from
is
almost any.
How much verbal diarrhea can I spew before someone will indeed take me down? Is kind of his thing.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the whole video games were only a quarter when I was a kid comment from Bob. That came from his video on piracy from Screw Attack.
Oh, is he talking about arcade games?
Yeah, he was talking about arcade games, not realizing that arcade games, even though they cost Joe Schmo like him and me 25 cents, or actually when I came onto the scene, about 50 cents to $1.
Yeah.
I'm 36, so no, I understand what he's talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, by the time I got
start, a quarter to continue.
But anyway, like I said, though, the point being is, yeah, for guys like you and me, yeah, going into the arcade with, a pocket full of change, that was a decent afternoon. And it was relatively cheap, all things considered. But for the guy running the establishment, that arcade machine cost him a pretty fucking penny.
Mm-hmm.
So games were not cheap. At best, actually, arcades were, if you were going to play a game at an arcade, it's more akin to renting a game from Blockbuster, which is what I did as a kid. Or actually, it was Red Giraffe. We didn't have a Blockbuster in my area until like I was 10, 15. Yeah, 15.
You usually blew like $5 in the arcade. That's usually how it.
Yeah, you blew $5 a day at the arcade, and then home rental became a thing. And you're like, oh wait, I can take this $5 instead of blowing it on a day's worth of gaming. I can have it for the entire fucking week.
So you have no idea what it was like to sit there and curse and going, God, when are you going to give me Street Fighter 2 at home?
Yeah.
When am I going to be able to play Mortal Kombat at my house? This is bullshit.
Oh, I got one even better for you. My first time I ever raged and started cussing during video games was with the Silver Surfer.
Oh.
The game that made everyone rage.
That's my sympathies.
Motherfucker! James! Sorry, Dad!
Yeah.
I was thinking you were going to say Gaiden.
I never actually played the original Ninja Gaiden for the NES.
Oh, good man. I mean, it was fun, but
It was definitely hard.
oh, God. How do you feel about physical copies? Got to have them or no?
I like them
Yeah.
simply because it's that assurance that if it goes off the electronic market, I still have it. I can, if digital copies were a lot cheaper, like, let's say with Resident Evil, the remasters, it's being spammed all over Xbox Live, PlayStation Network, and Steam. If that were like $10 to $15, then I would actually cave and say, you know what, yeah, I'll go ahead and grab this off Steam. But seeing as they still want like $20 to $23 for it, I'm like, man, I don't know.
How many games do you get out of that?
How many games can I get out of $23? Well, let's look.
No,
and
I
see.
mean on that deal, is it all the old Resident Evils or what?
It's just that one Resident Evil game.
Oh, no, I see what you're saying. It was like if it was the first three. Yeah.
Oh, if it was the first 3 on PC, best you believe I would throw down that $20 without batting an eye. I'd be like, oh, 1, 2, and 3 digital on Steam. Boom, take my money.
Now this is going to be another touchy one. Feel free to pass on this. It goes for both you guys. How often do you pirate games?
No comment.
Okay, no, that's fine. I understand.
I've got
So
something on
good.
this, but here's the thing. I make no bones about the fact that I pirate software occasionally. Nothing that I can actually work with and try and make money off of, but shit like, video games. The last time I pirated a game was like 2 months ago when I tried to get my hands on a copy of Silent Hill 3, but it was in Russian, so I couldn't really do fuck all with it. I was like, damn you!
Cheeky bricky.
What's the longest you've ever had? I don't even have this written down for a question. What's the longest you ever had to wait to download a goddamn game? I had one of my friends from the military said,
5 days.
oh my god! I would wait for you to say 5 hours. I'm like,
No.
yeah,
Dude,
Stream.
I don't even have that, dude.
Oh, that's right. You're on your phone now.
Oh, jeez.
Dude,
I'm
it's a
not gonna lie.
case of I tried to get Arkham Knight on this goddamn computer. It's like 50 gig download, bitch. And I'm like, are you fucking insane? In what universe do you
damn.
think some person in the rural areas is going to have an internet connection that can handle 50 gigs?
Was it buggy when you got it?
I'm pretty sure I want to just say that it's the Glitcher Knight, not anything else.
I'm
I
sorry,
can still guarantee you it is still not the worst PC port you will ever play.
Templar. I appreciate your cynicism. Now you've made me completely empathize with you.
You don't even know.
I can begin to understand. How's that?
Oh yeah, when it comes to video game piracy, here's the way I've always looked at it. I will download a game that I'm not sure I'm willing to spend money on. Or if it's too expensive to actually go get it through legitimate means. Like, for a long time, you could not find a copy of I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream for anything less than $200.
Is that an import?
That's a PC game
I
from
Have
the
No
mid-90s.
I must scream.
You're gonna
Like,
look this up, aren't you,
what else?
Donut?
Oh, I'll look it
It's
up
on
later.
Steam, I think.
Yeah, it's on Steam now, but...
Will, can you slap these people for not knowing what
It-
that
it-
is?
Here's the thing. I'm an old man compared to most of you. I assume I'm in my late 20s. Actually, no. Old buddy here hosting this shit's like 36. So you already know.
Oh, sir, you have to remember, for the longest, well, me mentioning this now, I considered the internet and PCs were strictly there for porn.
Yeah.
Porn was just a bonus.
Oh, to me, I always thought it was the main caveat, and I just remember I bought
Yeah,
it.
because that's all we had the time to download. Because we would have to fucking sneak down into the living room or into mom and dad's room, and then just like try and connect to the internet, and then hear that.
It's like, what are you doing down there, Junior?
Nothing, father.
Hey, that sound used to be a turn on. That meant new porn was coming.
No, right? I remember having Net 10 for a while. Oh my god, don't ever bitch about internet until you have a Net 10 on a 56K connection.
Oh,
Dial up in the rural areas. Then you can complain about slow internet. Till then, you're a spoiled baby and you need to shut up.
I'll look at it this way. And I used to have I had a programmer friend when I was explaining. It's like, what laptop and desktop do you have? Packard Bell. He's like, kill yourself. Both? Yes. You need to go buy a freaking, and this is a funny story. I had one of my friends on Skype. Do you know Tiger Direct?
Nope.
They had their own little outlet store. It was like, it's like a super Best Buy on steroids where like everybody kind of knows what they're doing.
Yep.
He's like, this is what you're going to do. You're going to go on Skype. You're going to walk me through and I'm going to listen the whole time. Every time I sell you something. He's like, you need this. Okay, that's fine. Nah, it's personal choice. Go ahead and buy it. And he's like, water cooler. You tell that beta faggot to shut the fuck, put me on speaker. And we're in the aisle and he's screaming at the guy. It was amazing. Holy shit. But yeah, there's a whole nightmare of switching over to PC when you don't know what you're doing, when you're sinking $1,000. It is kind of like, it's
Well, I mean, here's the thing. You really don't need $1,000 to get a decent PC. You really don't. All you really have to do is, let's say you're going to PC.
Right.
You have a game that's coming out that you really want to get your grubby little hands on.
mm-hmm.
So you look at the specs, look at the requirements of that game. Like, for instance, last time I did this, I was looking at Titanfall. After looking at the requirements for the game, what I would need to actually run it on a PC, I crunched the numbers, I surfed around on Newegg for a few minutes, and found out you only need about fucking $400, if even that, to make a decent PC.
You know what just occurred to me, Judge?
Oh, go ahead.
I'm looking at this. If you bother with an original character, what I would have done for your friggin' thumbnail for this, I'm looking at Judge Bill. I would have had you done as one of those Judge Dredd kind of characters.
For a while I toyed around with that, but I'm like, nah, fuck it. Just me and my cat. Because I'm not hiding from anybody. I mean, if anyone wants to find out where I'm at, they can come try and find me. Granted, there's like a shitload of William Ramers out there.
What do you think of those little Steam machines? Those worth it or not?
I need to get my hands on one to actually figure that out.
The controller is required filling, I guess.
I'm assuming you could take your PlayStation or your Xbox and plug it into it, since a lot of those are.
Well, that's always the downfall for a lot of these beginner consoles, is it's all like they never designed the controller right.
Yeah, and you'd think that would be like one of the easiest things to design. It's like, okay, let's take a look at what worked. Okay, the GameCube controller worked, the PS2 controller worked, and later Xbox controllers worked. How can we do that without ripping them off?
You're crazy. Let's make it a crescent moon shape with 6 controllers, throw in 1 button, and 26 triggers.
Yeah, make sure that it digs into both of your palms, too, while you're playing with it. Yep.
To which the board of directors said, brilliant, do it! Here's $20 million, make this controller.
I love it.
I have a handful of questions here left, but I'm definitely going to try and surrender the floor here since I got on a roll. I'm sorry, guys. You guys.
Go ahead, Meg.
No, I'm asking my co-hosts. You got anything?
Let me.
Sorry. Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you love Donald Trump?
Oh God.
As a politician or as entertainment?
Country with new survivors.
What's up? Yay, more beer from roommate. Awesome.
He's certainly entertaining, isn't he?
Okay.
That reminds me, when I was in one of my history classes, one of my teachers actually referred back and said, my favorite president is Richard Nixon. Like, you thought he was a good president? He's like, no! No, hell no! I'm just saying you said who my favorite president was. He's my favorite one to learn about.
I know, right?
Yeah.
You see, here's the thing that, for me, Trump is more of a polarizing figure than anything. Because on one hand, every time the man opens his mouth, he sounds, looks, and acts like a blithering idiot, or possibly one of the greatest trolls to ever grace national television.
Okay.
But he actually says a few things that I agree with. Like, the TPP, bad idea. No.
What on earth?
Just spill a drink?
It's spelled.
No, not the beer.
I imagine you've been spinning the bottle like this whole time. I've been hearing the
Nope.
little waffling thing for a while now.
Nope, I've been drinking long enough to not have to spit into my shit.
Spinning it, I mean.
You've been spinning the bottle.
What's the cheapest crap you've ever drank, since we're on, talking about drinking?
Right now, the cheapest crap I actually... Are we talking beer or liquor?
Any liquor.
Heaven Hill.
Ooh, what's that?
Garbage.
I've never heard of it.
Absolute fucking garbage. That's what it is.
Worse than box wine? I mean, there's some alcoholics I know that have really dope.
I know what box wine is, or I assume I know what box wine is.
Oh yeah, I thought the same thing too.
Are we
In a
talking
box.
the wine that comes in a box?
It's called Goon or something. I'm told that you could get 5 bottles worth for $20.
Well, there's several different kinds of box wine. It's like literally, it's like when you can't afford actual wine, but you want to drink, but you want to feel rich. It's like when you want to drive a Ferrari, but you're driving a Pontiac Fiero.
Is this like that conversion kit for the gremlin you were talking about there, Donut?
Yeah, well, kind of, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not intelligent enough. I just was passing that along, and I was like, I don't know, I'm just giving him a little something to work with there.
But yeah, let's see. Cheapest booze I'm drinking, Heaven Hill vodka. Basically, here's the way it works: you give you give the nice person at the liquor store your $5. You get about like
a fifth.
You get more than a fifth.
It's worse than Skull.
I've never had Skull.
I was about to say it's not possible. I'm tempted to go find this on principle.
So is this like when you have absolutely no money, you want to get drunk, you just walk in the liquor store and you're like, hey, give me the cheapest shit you got.
Yeah, basically. That's basically
like,
what Heaven Hill is. Cheapest shit you got that's gonna get the job done. Heaven Hill vodka.
Nice.
It's gonna burn and it's gonna taste like utter shit. It's probably actually rubbing alcohol, so you probably shouldn't drink it.
And if you run out of gas and you happen to have any in there, just pour it right in.
You probably could.
I'm about to give some horrible advice. Rubbing alcohol has a high proof.
Yeah, it does. But don't drink it, kids.
Oh, no, I understand. No, absolutely not, kids. Just saying.
Put it in your car.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's the most trouble you've ever been online?
Online? Strangely enough, I figured the most trouble I would be in online is when I released that little article saying that Anita Sarkisian never called the cops. But what really happened was this cat Jordan, who was putting together that documentary called The Sarkisian. I went to him for to confirm some information I had, aka her home address, just to say, hey, yeah, this is the address that they called from, and nothing happened. Doing my due diligence and research, and then he just took all the spotlight, and I said, okay, I'll go back to work. You have fun being a retard.
Nice.
You want to share some of the details?
Oh my god, this dude is batshit crazy.
He was the guy with the long hair, right?
Yeah, he's the long hair. Irini's the one that wants to be Lex Luthor with a gay stash.
Beautiful.
Yeah, Jordan.
Basically, Jordan, when I talked to him on the phone, said, oh man, you have no idea. This Sarkisian, she's involved with some scary shit, man. She's involved with something that was like what Hitler did to the Jews in World War II.
What?
Yeah! Not even bullshitting. He really said this.
I know how it feels to have things compared to Hitler.
Yeah, exactly. I'm thinking, really? You went there? Just give me the information and fuck off somewhere, basically.
Yeah.
Was my mentality.
And how did he get this information?
Oh, he knew where she lived because he looked at the docs and did a Google map and found a picture of their house with a chick with a face blurred out, but you could tell it was her because she's got that fucking schnoz,
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was like, I kind of just laughed at
What did he say
him.
in response to that?
He said, I know I'm being a creeper. I'm like, yeah, you are.
You think?
And I don't give a fuck if he hears this or not. I mean, what's he gonna do?
I doubt it. I think you're going to be good.
Oh, he's just gonna ramble for about 4 hours about how you're such a horrible human being, Bill.
Bill, you're a good person.
While he's shirtless and in the bathtub.
Crying.
Shirtless in the bathtub, smearing peanut butter all over himself. You don't know how to smear people properly, sir.
Damn it, my
All he has his dogs trained to lick it off.
Ooh.
There you go.
What is this?
Do you have a best drunk story?
Oh boy!
Oh, baby Peter!
Okay, so. Oh yeah.
Great story. I love it.
10 out of 10 will come again.
Alright, so I'm like in my I was at 22 or 23 when this happened. It was New Year's Eve.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't try to hold my drink. I tried to hold all the drinks.
Oh, jeez.
It's like straight vodka, I'll drink it. Whiskey, I'll drink it. Fruity shit, I'll drink it. And then you know how it is when you get super fucked up, you switch from melancholy to bro to angry, back to melancholy to prankster. And, I had one of those moments of sheer self-pity that could only be brought on by alcohol. It's like, oh my god, I'm so alone. I'm so sad. And then midnight hit. This guy I didn't like, who was friends with a buddy of mine, came into the garage I was hanging out in, completely fucking hammered. I was gone. And he's like, oh, Raymer, it's New Year's. Happy birthday. And I jumped up to my feet from the ground, and somebody made the mistake of giving me those New Year's Eve poppers. So I was like, Happy New Year, buddy! Pulled the string, and this fucker exploded right in this dude's face. And then apparently according to the story, I just collapsed right afterwards. And this dude kicked me in the ass and a couple of times, and I didn't even feel it. I woke up like 20, 30 minutes later. I was like, man, I gotta take a shit. So I go to my friend's bathroom, I start dropping the kids off at the pool, and then my stomach said, hey boy, you drank too much. And it's and then it's like 80 degrees in this bathroom. So it literally went from back to shitting and puking. And then after surrounding the toilet with my own vomit while taking a shit, I finally assumed the proper position after flushing, of course, because I'm not that nasty. And then I heard my friend's little sister, who was like 10 at the time, saying, Mom, Raymer's puking! Which I said, oh God. My friend discovered me like 10 minutes later, passed out, butt naked, asleep in the toilet, my head in the toilet bowl, surrounded by my own vomit.
Was this a new rock bottom?
Here's what it gets even better.
Oh, God.
Before my friend discovered me in such a state, he had a 5-inch toenail. When he discovered me in said state, he kicked me square in the ass and broke off the toenail.
Okay, then.
Wow.
Did that watch or?
To which I just kind of responded, hey man, what's up? Kramer, why are you naked? It was hot in here, man.
Oh.
He was mad for a couple of months. And every time he got mad at me and started bringing that up, I just kind of chuckled. I'm like, motherfucker, if it were you and not me cleaning up that puke, you would be laughing your ass off too.
I'm scared to ask this next one. Do you have any good drug stories?
Oh, dear.
Oh.
We can pass it if you want to.
No, I have no shame in my game.
Oh,
sir.
baby.
Oh, yes.
Well, here's the thing. Good drug story. Okay, so I was living with this dude who was a friend of mine. I'm not gonna mention his name because I'm not a dick.
Good man.
Who was going through a divorce, and we smoked a little bit together. We smoked a little bit of weed, and he was like, man, he was talking about his problems. Like, man, I accidentally pulled there's something about Mary, man. I can't get no pussy tonight. I'm like, and of course I was flirting with his soon-to-be ex-wife. The paperwork hadn't gone through before all that, and I was kind of like, yeah, I might be getting some puss tonight. Later that night, I fucked the shit out of his then wife. Not really nice.
Oh, wow.
It's one of those situations where everyone, it's one of those situations where anytime somebody looks at me and says, "Oh, you're just slut shaming Zoey Quinn. You're just mad because you're a Puritan," I'm like, I've been in Nathan Grayson's position a few times. I've been the other man.
That leads me to another question. Do you have an arrest record?
Well,
oh, God.
The cellar has a basement.
No.
Hold on. Let me get out my rap sheet here.
I've been arrested. Here's what happened.
Oh, baby.
Mm-hmm.
The night before I got arrested, I had turned 21. I went completely fucking overboard on very old Barton whiskey, which is, again, another cheap whiskey. You can get something like this, at least at the time, a gallon of this fucker, a full handle, for like $10. So it wasn't exactly the best of drinks. So I killed half of that fucking gallon right there in the liquor store parking lot, stumbled my ass home, passed out in the front lawn of my grandma's house, where I was living at the time. Wake up 2 minutes after that, look at grandma and say, I'm tired, I'm going to bed. Talk to you later, grandma. Puke in the sink a couple of times, grab another swig, and then pass the fuck out. Then, the next morning comes around.
Okay.
I realized I'm unemployed, so I'm going to go job hunting. I pay my grandma the amount of rent I said I would pay her. I think it was like $60 a month at the time. And I ended up taking a walk up to the GameStop, wearing my Misfit shirts, didn't even fucking take a shower, just brushed my hair that I had at the time.
I suddenly feel bad.
I started losing my hair when I was like 22, for reals.
Yeah.
It's cool though. But anyway, start walking to GameStop, and I'm on South 4th in Louisville, broad daylight, and there's this kind of older chick with some Tego biddies, just basically hanging out in the tube top.
Nice.
And she's looking at me, and I noticed her, and I thought I was like a fucking pimp. I lit up a cigarette, and I'm like, hey, little mama, what you up to? She's like, oh, not much. He's trying to make $1. I'm like, oh yeah, what'll $20 get me? That $20 landed me in jail for prostitution.
Was that an undercover cop?
It was an undercover cop.
Good job. Good job.
Well, I'm sorry.
The one time you decide to pay a prostitute, it's a vice cop.
I know, right? Moral of the story,
Son
kids.
of a...
Moral of the story, kids. If
Please
you
don't.
find a loose chick in high school who's got stretch marks around her mouth, fucking go for it. If you
Well,
can ride that town bicycle, ride that shit.
I'm told the way around it is to tape it, because then it becomes pornography, which makes it legal.
Oh, that's in California.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah, but I was young and stupid.
Yeah.
I didn't know as much as I know now.
So, there's obviously, I'm going to surrender the mic here, and Vito's going to say something stupid. But before, for each of these podcasts, some of the better ones, I like to do a thumbnail. I was going to get your guys' reaction to the artwork I got done. You're okay with that, right?
Yeah, sure, what?
Here, give that a look. See what you think.
All right, is this the artwork?
Yep.
Right here that you posted in the link? All right,
Yes,
let's see
sir.
what we got here.
The Gazzle.
Let's see what we got here. Waiting, because I'm on Windstream too, so...
I'm on
there it is.
Shitternet.
Yeah, well, let's see here. Okay. You might need a little bit of work on the perspective. Me personally, I would have gone a little bit farther with the amount of torment that the 8chan character went with. Although the dentistry, the little pliers in the dude's hand, not too bad. Although I would have added a little bit more gore around the mouth, personally.
Oh, yeah, I think what put me off as the artist is like too much blood. And I'm like, no, I like it. It's good.
Yeah, I mean, the drill, that large-ass drill, I guess, is really there just to say, further emphasize, hey, this is a dentist.
Well, there's another reason for that. That's Vita's original character, and he's a big fan of, what's the anime?
Gurren Lagann.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, that's a good I didn't even ask for that, and I was like, damn, well done. Oh, if you don't like Gurren Lagann, I'm not going to preach to you, but, there's people who like it. I haven't seen it myself. I mean, check
and
it.
of course, what's this guy like? Is this guy smoking a cig? The pony with the pink hair and the red eyes?
That's my OC. I'm lighting a cigar with a freaking blowtorch.
Yeah, but are you lighting it in your nose?
Oh, let me take a look.
No. It's just the angle.
Yeah, you have to zoom in on it.
Breathe in that
I'm
smoke.
looking at it, bro. It looks like you are lighting a cigar while... Wait, no. I can see a little bit more.
Being lit up at the
there
left
it is.
side of his mouth with.
Yeah,
part of
I
his-
see it, but it's kind of odd seeing
Yeah.
it. It's kind of like seeing a non-smoker draw somebody that's smoking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it looks wrong.
I like supporting artists, so I was like, you know what?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a funny
I'm not-
idea. This will get me hyped up. I don't know. I was terrified coming on this
And
podcast.
also on the whole 8chan thing,
Yeah.
the left arm is way out of perspective and concerned to the right arm, because the right arm is supposed to be farther away from the camera and the left arm is closer, but the left arm is bigger and longer than the left arm. So
I see what you're getting at now, actually.
yeah, I mean, it's basic anatomy issues. I mean, other than that, the idea, the concept behind this, it's alright. I mean, I'm not, and like I said, could have gone a little bit further with it.
Warped. Everything looks amateur hour.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm assuming this guy isn't exactly John Buscema here.
Oh, I don't want to bust his balls again. Like I always like to help out starving artists myself.
Oh yeah. I mean, but
Yeah,
I'm not saying bust the guy's balls, but I'm saying.
No. If you want to give him critical feedback, I'll convince him to listen to the end of this podcast. I was like, look here, Earl.
Just tell this cat to
That
go
was
on
Earl?
YouTube.
Yeah, that was Earl, and I was like, I'll have you know the fine gentleman from 8chan gave you loving, understanding criticism, and he's gonna look at me. He's like, really? Yeah,
It's like
really.
you're joking, right?
Yeah, no, really.
Yeah, just gonna be all like, "You suck! You're screwed!"
God, this is so terrible.
That's not the
Yeah,
worst I've
exactly.
ever
I mean-
done. I've had you guys follow Brony at all?
Yeah.
Do you know who Mitzi's and TRY are?
No.
They're like massive
Yeah.
fucking artists that do like the Rule 34 thing. I showed him like something one of my artists did, and he's like, this looks like someone took a shit on a plate and served it to somebody. I'm like, I'm not passing that critique back.
Yeah, I mean,
You'll never be as mean as they were. Holy shit.
yeah, I mean, tell this cat he needs to work on his perspective a little bit more and maybe his anatomy. And a good video to watch on that would be How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way with Stan Lee and John Buscema.
Oh, I forgot they had videos out of that.
Oh my god, dude! I remember back in high school. My ultimate goal out of high school was to be an artist for Marvel.
Oh yeah, I remember those days.
Yeah, exactly. You're young, you're hungry, you hate everything. You got a chip on your shoulder, and you got to prove shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought artists back in that day worked for Image.
No, John.
Well,
John
your high school
Buscema
days.
was-
Let's see here. I graduated high school back in 2005, so Image had, came in. While Image didn't really go anywhere or leave.
It's gone. I understand it's gone.
Image is too busy pumping out stories that can be easily translated to TV, like Battle Pope or The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Granted, I wouldn't mind seeing something like an Invisible TV series on Netflix. Come on, Robert. Come on. Kirkman, you's in Kentucky. You can make that happen. Come on.
Was that someone being positive about Rob Liefeld?
No, Kirkman.
No, you
Yeah,
said,
I was gonna
come on,
say,
Robert, is what I
no.
thought you was talking about. I was like, oh my god, I haven't heard someone be positive about Robert Liefeld in probably 2 decades.
Well, to be
There's
fair,
a-
Robert
There's a
Liefeld.
reason for that. There.
I know, I understand.
To be fair, Robert Liefeld is actually a better artist than someone like, I don't know, John Romita Jr.
I'm just, like,
What?
I have
I said
14-year-olds
it.
still making fun of freaking Rob
Whoa,
Liefeld.
whoa.
Okay, see,
Wait a minute.
have you seen Junior's take on Superman?
Now, admittedly, I haven't seen anything.
Have
that
you
he's
seen
done
his take on Cap, sir?
No, I haven't
Okay.
seen anything he's done recently, but I used to love his stuff like from the 80s, but
Okay, I love John Romita Jr.'s Spider-Man, hands down. I love. As a matter of fact, I masturbate to the idea of having Man Without Fear in my comic book collection again.
yeah.
Because a lot of the artwork and a lot of the storytelling in that book was just straight up beautiful. I mean, those scenes where you see Matt Murdock and Stick jumping across fucking rooftops in that 2-page splash, that was fucking great. And then you see what happened to John Romita Jr. after Spider-Man.
Yeah, I haven't seen his stuff recently. Yeah, it's definitely gone downhill.
I think
Yeah.
I know the
Yeah.
captain you're talking about. The one where
the
he's
one that
looking
actually
at.
prompted me to, get back into art.
Yeah.
Fuck, I can do this better than John Romita Jr.
Well, I wouldn't really say he's worse than Rob Liefeld,
Yeah, I
but
remember.
I know, I
One of the
Simply
knocks I
because the
heard
man
on Rob
has
Liefeld-
he has forgotten how to do anatomy. I don't mind his style. His style doesn't bug me. But the blatant amateur-esque nature of his anatomy, the fact that everything has degenerated so far after his run on Spider-Man, shit. Look at his run on Kick-Ass, and then look at his run on Spider-Man, and tell me Kick-Ass is a superior book.
So what you're saying is he's forgotten more about anatomy than we'll ever know.
Yeah, exactly.
probably.
And it shows. I mean, he's kind of like the Kirk Hammett of comics. He slowly unlearned how to draw. Just like Kirk Hammett forgot how to play guitar.
Judge Bill, you are one of the best, at least top 5 shit talkers I have ever had on this show, and you've talked with authority and knowledge.
Nice.
You are always welcome back.
Look, well, you see, the reason I'm so good at shit talking is because I work fast food.
Oh, baby.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, you know fast food. You know that kind of racket.
Yeah.
You can't
no.
shit talk. You're going to walk home from work every day crying. You'll be like, oh my God, this person's sad. My manager's sad. I have a girlfriend on the internet, and that's all the posts I'm ever going to get.
I'm gonna have to go home and go to my safety place now, guys.
Yeah, exactly. It's so funny because this chick I work with, this manager, have any of you ever actually seen the movie Kingpin?
Woody Harrelson.
Bowling.
Yeah.
I've seen bits of it.
Yeah.
Okay, you know the chick from Kingpin, the nasty looking one.
Oh, yeah.
That's
You need to brush
basically-
up on your tongue exercises there, boy. That's gonna be you someday, Donut. The burning donut here is homeless.
Been there, done that. That's cool.
Oh no, I make about $30 a month on my Patreon. Woo!
I'm sorry, Donut.
It's all good. It's all good.
I'm
So
not.
yeah, just remember Patreon. Remember, kids, Patreon, hookers and blow. Give us your money so we can do stuff.
Tell you what, Judge, you give me that link to that and your friend as well, and I'll put that in the description at the very top.
Sure.
Yeah.
I support
start
starving
shit-talking
artists
on the
still, and I feel very comfortable calling you an artist after this podcast.
I'm more of a writer / aspiring businessman.
I consider
But
content
anyway,
creators to be artists.
Beside the point, my boss, she's like, keeps rubbing on me. I'm like, look, I don't like being touched. Don't touch me. I'm a touch me not. That whole little bit of autism, be like, no, I don't know you. Don't touch me. But that's also maybe the fact that I grew up in the ghetto, and somebody I don't know or don't see touching on me automatically justifies the automatic response of punching them in the face.
Well, friend, fat chicks need loving too. They gotta pay though.
No, she's not a fat chick. She kind of looks like Peggy Hill.
Oh dear.
Imagine a sleazy Peggy Hill with a bad dye job hitting on you at work.
Well, there goes my boner. All right.
The Dead Boner Memoirs.
Yeah.
Maybe I should call that the freaking podcast title. Dead Boner Memoirs.
Yes.
Oh shit, that's goddamn amazing. I'll make a note here in my notes. Dead Boner Memoirs. 1 second, please. What did you want to ask me, Vita, since you wanted to have to go out here?
All right. My last question for you. What is it like being the Mr. Pibb of Chans?
Oh, I'm the Mr. Pibb of Chance?
I like
Really?
Pibbs, that's why I let it through.
Yeah, hold on. I'm like, how you figure?
You're Miss Pibb. You're like the knockoff brand that everyone, like, if they can't get Dr. Pepper, they're like, well, I guess I'll have Mr. Pibb.
I'm okay with this because I like Mr. Pibb.
Yeah, good man.
You're the worst person.
Hey, I told...
some of the RC Cola of age Chan.
God.
Good man.
You mean U18?
Nobody drinks RC Cola.
I do.
It's cheap enough sometimes.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I've done dollar store RC Cola.
No, you did Big Red.
Big Red tastes like shit.
It does, but it's root beer.
I thought
Wait,
Big Red was like red drink.
No, Big Red and Big Blue have both had, and they taste all right. I like Big Blue more, but Big Red's all right.
All right, I'm all out. You gentlemen got something to go there? How about you, Oki?
I was curious actually earlier. Templar, are you there?
Yeah.
What was that game that 50 gigabyte game? Was it? I was thinking that it was Arkham Knight.
Yes.
Okay, just want to make sure.
It was Arkham Knight.
And it did suck thusly.
What sucked thusly, good sir?
Did it?
Good.
Oh, I was gonna ask if it ever got patched.
They claim it did, and I'd say no, it didn't, because it still ran like shit.
So was like anything better on it, or was it just all still just as shitty as it was before?
It doesn't crash to desktop as much, but not that it was much better, because it was basically almost unplayable anyway.
Ugh.
Like, the stuttering was horrible, the frame rate would drop for absolutely no goddamn reason. It's a case of Batman could fly into a fucking punch, and then it would freeze mid-frame and then slow down for the rest of the fight. And it's like, how the heck did this get out of QA testing?
Alright, so I actually have a question for all of you.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Oh, baby.
What is the worst PC port you folks have ever had the mispleasure of playing?
Dark Souls.
Yeah, Dark Souls runs like shit. I'll give you that.
Fucking Blake Town.
The original Lost Planet, because of that. What was it? Windows for games or something like that.
Windows Live?
Games for
Yeah,
Windows Live.
Yeah, that caused a lot of issues on my computer. I don't know what's sad, man. Lost Planet.
Well, the only thing, I don't do much PC gaming, but like there was one time I tried to get a PlayStation emulator. That didn't work.
Well, you see, on note of the PlayStation emulator, yeah. That actually may be more user error, human error than anything. Because I had to actually say, no, Dad, you need this PS2 emulator.
Yeah.
You need to run it like this, and you need to download the iOS, you need to download Magic Disk, you need to do all this shit.
Oh, I know. It's just there was a while I was on a big emulator kick, because it was like, I downloaded this Super Nintendo emulator, it was great, and I was like, oh, dude, what else can I get? It was like, I still have all these like old PlayStation games just sitting around, and I'm all like, well, maybe I'll try to get a PlayStation emulator. Alas, it was the only one I couldn't get to work.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Same thing, I tried to get an emulator for Burgundy, which is an old PS1 game, and it crashes after a little bit.
I remember actually running into a fan port, Silent Hill. Someone actually took the effort to make a Silent Hill port of the original Silent Hill, not Silent Hill 2, 3, 4, Homecoming, or any of that shit. The original shit that was never officially ported. It ran well. It ran quite well. Then I played Silent Hill 2, ported officially. That damn thing did not fucking work. At all. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I played the original Silent Hill 2 on PC. I got nothing but fucking blue screen.
Remember what your computer was?
Oh, it was I was either a Vista or a 7 at the time.
If we're going to talk terrible PC ports, the one that comes to mind, for me anyway, has got to be motherfucking Ace Combat Assault Horizon.
What was
It's like, if you want to talk about something where it's clear the developer had no interest in learning how to map controls to a PC, here it is, because you cannot get through the fucking Apache mission on the PC version unless you want to break your thumbs.
Yeah.
Well, you see, here's the thing that kills me. Why didn't they just say, hey, you know what? You can map the controls whatever you want on PC.
You could, but it was such a pain in the butt because of the way they set it up, to where you just could not control the damn thing. I was flipping out all over the place while RPGs kept slamming into everything, that by the 7th try, I was like, fuck this. This game is terrible.
Sort of like another good example of a bad PC port may actually be Shadow Man on that one.
Oh, Shadow Man?
Shadow Man was dope.
Yeah.
I definitely want to see that series come back, or maybe Jim Shooter, if you're listening. Hey, buddy. We would love to make a game about Shadow Man, since Valiant Comics still owns the rights to Shadow Man. Give it to us. Come on. We'd make some baller shit if you pay us. But, once again, the problems with the original Shadow Man on PC was, man, trying to get your mouse to work on that thing is a bitch. So you'd be better off just getting the Dreamcast version.
It was kind of like...
We done, gentlemen?
And I'm going on a tangent, and I apologize in advance, but seeing as everybody's done anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always... One of the things that bugs me about the current scene and gaming journalism and the more quote-unquote progressive elements of the gaming community, the ones who drank the Kool-Aid a while back.
Yeah.
They're the ones who usually say, oh, we need more diversity in our video games. Why aren't there any more black people in video games? I'm like, are you kidding me? How long have you been in this scene, son? Do you not remember Shadow Man?
Yeah.
Do you not remember the fact that DMX was signed to play this guy at one point?
From out of Black Guys in Street Fighter.
I'm imagining some guy
Wasn't
beating
there-
up like a bunch of villains going, X gon' give it to you.
Oh, dude, X gonna give it to you in a fucking Shadow Man movie. Bring it.
Wasn't there like a Wu-Tang Clan game for fucking PlayStation at
Yes,
one
there
point?
was a Wu-Tang Clan game.
What was this?
It was
It was
kind of
was
like Power Stone in the sense that it's a 3D fighter.
yeah. It was essentially like they tried to kind of 3Dize Final Fight, but was all rappers.
Yeah,
It was like a
it was,
wrestling game. They had that too, I believe.
Yeah, it was
You chuck
fucking,
people into trains and shit. It was the weirdest damn thing ever.
Method Man,
Yeah,
Red
yeah.
Man. Oh wait, no, Red Man.
It looked kind of fun, actually.
I think I actually played it once. It was okay.
It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it, this is a token bullshit game, you should be offended, represent your,
Yeah.
demographic.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the thing that's going on right now in the gaming press. It's really more along the lines of them bitching about bullshit that at the end of the day doesn't matter. Like, a while back, I actually got into it with somebody on Twitter. Some chick from Canada, which shouldn't surprise anybody at this point.
Hey?
Yeah, exactly. Some, chick from Canada, she was bitching about The Witcher based on Polish bullshit, saying, "Oh, there's not enough diversity in this. There needs to be more diversity in video games." To which I reply, "Okay, Why don't you go make one? You got an idea.
Ah, yeah.
I
You're
think
right.
that's kind of a lazy one. Going, you can't.
Well,
Well, I
No,
mean, here's the thing. I'm working on a survival horror video game.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, here's the thing. Right now, we're kind of looking at our situation when it comes to manpower, when it comes to drive and all that shit. And I'll be the first to admit, with this current project, we may have bitten off more than we could chew, but we're still going to put out a basic build saying, hey, this is what we're capable of
do.
in regards to the game. But the reason I went with this idea for a game, psychological horror title where you are playing a near-death experience in somebody's subconscious, actually going through all of their mental baggage, all of their inner demons, their past, and letting the game tell the story of all this horrible shit.
Yeah.
And, this is a female perspective, so to speak.
Of course.
Because, let's be perfectly honest, most decent horror films do have a female lead that succeeds at the end.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously. I mean, I think the one exception to that rule may be Friday the 13th with Tommy Jarvis involved.
Oh, I thought you were going to
Yeah.
quote Rob Zombie's movies.
Oh, are you kidding me? Nobody gets out of Rob Zombie movies clean. Everybody's white trash, hillbilly bullshit.
Fuck your grandma.
That man respects the genre.
You know what? I like Captain Spaulding. I'm not talking shit about any of Rob Zombie's characters. I'm just saying.
There's
If
only
you
one
like-
thing that pissed me off about that whole freaking The Devil's Rejects. Is that Roger Ebert sat there and watched it, and he wound up giving it a good grade. And I knew why. It had nothing to do with the movie, which even though I thought was badass, he put it over because one of his fellow critics was in the damn thing.
You see, it's that kind of bullshit that says, hey, Gamergate may have a point every once
But you
in a while.
didn't need to know. Like, if you did the
You
research
didn't need-
yourself,
you know,
you'd know he
that
was a
didn't
piece of
really-
shit. Actually, you wouldn't even need to do the research. After reading 3 or 4, like, Ebert's bull things, you'd know, yeah, this guy's a piece of shit. I don't need a movement to tell me that Roger Ebert was an asshole.
Yeah, but once again, though, that's not the point. That really isn't the point. If you are a reporter talking about the latest scandal in Washington, let's say a senator got caught with a 17-year-old hooker.
Right.
Now, let's say one of the major stories that's being floated around about this scandal is being pushed by a reporter who just so happens to have either a relationship with, it has a relationship with said 17-year-old hooker. Rather he's a client, whether he's one of her Johns, rather he is her big brother, it doesn't matter. He's way too close to the fucking story to actually give us the facts.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those situations where I've actually bitched at Glenn Greenwald on fucking Twitter about this sort of thing. Because right now, there actually is the question amongst journalists, should they be able to act as activists while reporting on said activist activity?
Ah.
You see, that is a blatant conflict of interest. It's the reason why Keith Olbermann was originally fired from MSNBC, because he was caught donating to Jack Conway's campaign when he's supposed to be reporting objectively on said campaign. When you have a dog in this fight, you can't really objectively report on it. You can't necessarily be trusted to give 100% the facts, be accurate, because you are connected to this. Therein lies the problem with not just games journalism, but journalism in general.
Yeah.
Either a good chunk of reporters are friends with each other and are cooperating in groupthink, or they are outright incompetent to the point where they can't even make a fucking phone call to say if the San Francisco police were contacted in regards to Anita Sarkisian's threats.
Oh, God.
I mean, that's where
I
I stand. I just want journalists to do their fucking job. Report the facts. That's the job. One fucking job. And let me tell you something else. And I apologize for going on this long, this rant, but
Fucking preach it.
anyway, the
Yeah.
whole thing with Gamergate that really sticks home with me, not as a dev, not as a customer, hell, not even as a fucking reader of game websites, but as someone who actually works for their fucking money.
Yeah.
Someone who will come in at 8 o'clock at night and leave at 4 o'clock in the morning just to scrape by. When you fuck up on a job, the way Nathan Grayson fucked up on a job, you know what happens?
You get fired.
You get shit canned right there on the spot.
And it ruins your career, too.
You're done. You are essentially done.
You're blacklisted. No one's going to hire you.
Because here's the thing. I've actually worked enough bullshit gigs, like fast food, factory, name it, I've probably done it except for truck driving and illegal activity. If you get caught in a situation that Nathan Grayson was caught in, you're done. You're fired. Oh, you're a manager who was sleeping with an employee? Well, you're both out. Oh, what's that? Your buddy is a landscaper and it offered, your buddy's a landscaper, did a shitty job, and the only reason he got the job was because you were his friend? Guess what? You're gone, Jack.
I was going to say, isn't that how the mafia gets work?
Yeah, exactly.
I was about to say, I'm kind of from the Illinois area, buddy. I'm not entirely sure if that means you're done. That usually means you have to shut up because somebody's connected.
I'd rather not talk about that on the air.
No, that's fine. No.
Because, let's...
I didn't know they had that sort of thing out in Kentucky.
Let me just say, we do know Omerta.
Okay.
We know that quite well. And, yes, Bill has family that was connected to the mob. And, Granddaddy may or may not have been a hitman. I know a lot more than I should. Let's put it that way.
I dig you.
But anyway, the point being is, if you fuck up on that level, you're done. But that's not what happened in this case. What happened was, Gawker decided to double down and say, no, fuck you for questioning us. How dare you, you mere peasant who struggles and toils 9 to 5 just to survive. How dare you assume that we, the elite, should be held to the same standards that you, the plebeians, are. That's the main message I got from guys like Gawker, MSNBC, and Fox News. Vox, not Fox News, Vox with a V.
Yeah.
Same people who own Pretense, Polygon, which is now owned by Comcast. But once again, instead of actually talking about ethics and journalism, actually being competent enough to get the job done, or having any form of relevance when it comes to reporting, the subject was turned to, oh my god, you people just don't like feminists.
Yeah.
It's sort of like MSNBC when they address critics of Obama. The same person who renewed the Patriot Act here in the country. The same person who expanded the NSA's spying. The same person who put American citizens on the CIA kill list. Any criticism towards Obama or his most likely successor, Hillary, is immediately written off as blatantly bigoted.
Well, you said the most likely successor. You haven't been following the polls. Hillary.
You know what? Here's the thing. Hillary is in bed with the corporate America.
Ah.
Yep.
She is literally taking money from the prison lobbies.
If you're a complete unlikable twat, you don't get into office.
Nah,
Doesn't matter.
Well, you're kind of assuming the vote.
That's
counts,
another thing I'm kind of happy about. If in the unlikely event, which I know there's 110 fucking reasons why, if dipshit gets in office, what's his damn name, Captain Combover gets in office. The thing I'm gonna like about that is I could point to everybody going, see, the Illuminati doesn't exist because there's no way a secret organization about super intelligent would ever let this jerk off get into office.
I kind of look at, I kind of feel you on that one. Oh, who's calling me?
Unprofessional. God.
No.
God damn it, Mom!
We could break. I mean,
I do need to take a piss real quick. I will be right back.
I got like an hour 40, man. This is golden. You know how much editing?
Fine.
You know how much editing I have to do? Holy shit!
Oh my god! I got this. Be
Pretty
right back.
fucking sure we didn't even talk about why the fuck we were brought on here to begin with.
I wanted to interview him because I was like, okay, tell me about 8chan. And they did. And I was like, oh, this is fucking beautiful.
Yeah, it's done great. Yeah.
Yeah, fucking, I've got a podcast and a half here. I'm going to jam it into one.
I came on here to shit on socially awkward fucks, but
Oh yeah, you guys were fucking I was like,
Yeah,
you know what?
but-
I'll have Vita as a backup in case they act like a bunch of fucking dipshits. Oh, they're not. And I'm sure Vita's like, well, this isn't what I wanted. And I was like, well,
yeah, I had to throw out a bunch of like questions to piss people off out the window.
I definitely appreciate it. I was telling Cider about what's going on. He's like, oh, what game's he developing? Oh, we're talking about Gamergate. He's like, I don't want to talk about. I was like, I know it sounds terrible because your average Joe Schmo doesn't want to hear about Gamergate, but it's been an engaging discussion. You guys have been like interesting and shit. I think really though, Bill, I think we've more than gotten enough. You've been a class act. Some really grade A premium shit that you've given me. Did everybody have fun?
Oh yeah.
I had some fun.
Yeah, I'm sorry if we kept you a little bit longer, Templar.
I ain't even worried. I mean, shit.
Hey, look, if I ever have podcast guests that are around gaming, I'd love to have you guys back if you're interested.
Well, let me put it this way. Length is not an issue with me. I'm sure Templar brought this up, but you remember, hearing about a 6-hour podcast with Jerry P?
I've heard about it. I don't have the.
Yeah, guess who was involved in that?
I can beat the story on that, sir.
I'm sorry.
Do you know who Josh Scorcher is?
John.
All I know is he's some associate of Pete, and
He
just
had a
don't
stupid
give a-
argument about some retarded bullshit in regards to a show, and they argued for 12 hours about whether a rap on a kid's cartoon was interesting or not. Jerry will never be that stupid. Never. Not in 100 years.
I don't know, man. I have seen and
I have seen
witnessed
some
to
stupid
some stupid shit with Jerry. So
Oh my God.
I was
This goes
about
back
to
to the
get
whole
out of
cow
this and be
thing,
like,
dude.
haha, Okie, I had a dynamite
Hold on.
podcast.
What were you saying?
I mean, this goes back to the whole cow thing. I mean, seriously, Pete landed himself on cow for being, Jerry Pete. And yes, I know, I don't care. Jerry says a lot of things.
I'm
personally.
aware.
When I was first introduced to him, it was when he was still in high school. He actually had some intelligence about him. He actually...
I've heard this from a lot of people, sir. A lot of
his
fun,
original
interesting
RBI videos were actually interesting videos. And then something happened. I don't know what. I don't know if he was replaced by a scroll or he drank the Kool-Aid or what. But the man just went full retard real quick. I actually had this cat on my Facebook for a while. And then I shared something that was like a goofy joke. That had this house that had a sign in front of it that said, "We believe in the Second Amendment. Our neighbors, on the other hand, believe in gun control. You would have an easier time robbing them than us." Simple little chuckle here and there, and then he got pissy. He was like, "Well, you do realize that, security systems are actually cheaper than guns."
Well,
Like-
that's an interesting.
Yeah.
I was going to say that's an interesting case law. Whether you're contributing to someone else's well-being with that. I don't know. Again, to give legal advice, you have to be a lawyer. That'd be an interesting situation though for a lawyer trying to
But
work.
yeah,
The conversation ended with, after he pointed that out, I said, okay, first off, decent home security on a monthly basis is not cheaper than a double barrel shotgun. It's not. I don't care what anyone says. I mean, especially if you actually sit down and see how much it costs on a monthly basis, home security on a monthly basis versus a good old-fashioned $200 double barrel shotgun.
Hey, look, I love the Second Amendment. I think guns are cool. The Republican and the Democratic Party, regardless of what they say, both think guns are cool. Guns lobbyists are well represented, and God bless and keep them.
Okay, first off, fuck lobbyists in general.
Hey, they're a necessary evil in this situation.
no, they're not.
No.
You ever see
they
Thank
are
You
not.
for Smoking?
They are.
The DOA.
Yes, I have, and I still think it is referred. It should be referred to as legal bribery.
It's not?
It should be. If I had my way, any government official taking money from a lobbyist would be up on charges for treason.
Sir, I just told you the most important C with an ism is capitalism. And that's why I'm just willing to be like, well, it's a bum deal, but it's what it is.
Yeah, but once again, we can fix some of the problems. Like the main problem here in this country.
Give me a working
no.
government that doesn't have lobbyists that is a better example of what we need to be.
Okay, here's where a lot of our problems boil down. He who has the gold makes the rules. If you are the Koch brothers, a multi-million-dollar organization like the NRA, if you are a country willing to pay another country, pay someone else to spew your bullshit like Israel, if you are for the special interest groups, if you are in name any fucking lobbyist and ask yourself this: do they represent the people or do they represent the corporation? They work for the corporation. They have absolutely fuck all interest in the rights of guys like you and me. Their end all goal is, who is going to make me money? How am I going to make more money? And that in itself is
Sometimes those align with our interests, though. That's why I'm willing to look the other way with gun lobbyists.
right. Once again, when you look at the military-industrial complex, that does align with our interests.
Sir, there's a brilliant man that Vito loves and respects, that's famous for saying this.
Don't you fucking dare!
Something about
God.
venues. I forget how
It's
it
Donald
goes.
Trump!
Anthony, we're going to the same fucking convention. Don't try me. I'm bringing uranium.
Okay, yeah, no, he is. So anyways, Bill.
Is it yellow cake?
No, it's
Oh,
not
no, I
enriched.
got it off.
It's not enriched, but yeah. Anyways, again, sir, I think that we've come our course. I think I have more than enough content to fucking grind out a podcast. I'd have you back. I think this is fucking amazing. This is great, but we're going off entirely on another tangent here about the government. And if you want to come back and we could talk about, like, Jerry and the government maybe next time, we got 2 hours. I think this is golden. I think we're fucking gold. I've done podcasts this long, and you know what? I think the retention will be solid on 2 hours. You cool?
Yeah, I'm cool with it.
Thank you, everybody.
Oh, good.
Take
Now
care.
there's no
Love you all.
record.
Good night,